Good day, morning, and night, my fellow humans. How have you guys been? Today we are playing Doki Doki Literature Club. Wow. Last episode. I have no words. If only you guys seen my reaction. You guys heard it, but you guys didn't see it. I apologize for that. But wow, I expected something bad to happen, but I did not expect that, and I am flabbergasted on what happened. But anyway, so the game had reset, except this time now we are playing without Sayori, and so I kind of thought this was like a pick your own, like a one take type thing, but apparently no, you have to keep replaying the game, and eventually you're gonna get to a point where I guess none of the girls are left, or maybe just one, I don't know. But speaking of which, we're continuing on. We just made it back to the literature, well, we're just joining back with the literature club. So without further ado, and thus today marks the day I sold my soul to Monika and her irresistible smile. I timidly follow Monika across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for the third-year classes and activities. Monika, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Okay. Excuse me? I'm back, and I brought a guest with me. Pardon? A guest? Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill me, the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyways, welcome to the club, let's go. All words escape me in this situation, this club. It's full of incredibly cute girls. So let me guess. You're Monika's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, the vice president. It's nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. I'm sorry, I'm not whipping out the voice, even though that's probably atrocious to you guys, and you guys are probably finding it cringeworthy. I find it pretty engaging to read to you guys in that voice, even though it makes it harder to read. So I ran into Lexi Aquarian. Actually, nah. I was thinking about giving her Sayori's rose, but now I was like, never mind. So I ran into Lex Wakong in the classroom, and he decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Wait, Monika. Didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going, well, you know. Sorry. I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Lex Wakong? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monika and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monika. So I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all their effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. but it makes school events and like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls interested in the same goal. Monica must have really worked hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teacher gives us permission. After all, doesn't a hot teacup help you enjoy a good book? Yeah, I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. You're just trying to impress you. That's not it. Yuri insulted. Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know, I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be the pastime for me, but at least I enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So, let's go on. What kinds of things do you like to read? Considering how little I read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, eh? I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces a rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes lit up that she finds herself comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you off for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I could relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think or it takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right. You usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud! And give that back. Fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Yeah, well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? And no. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. You have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea. How about this? Natsuki and Yuri looks quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. The next time we meet, we all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monika. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Lickbagong? Hold on, there's still one problem. Yeah? What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly came forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monika may have been convinced to stop me, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But I'm sorry, I thought. The girls exchange glances before Monika turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth. Let's go. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form enough club. We need 4, and I've been trying really hard to find new members. And if we don't find one more before the festival, I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. And besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls? Right. Okay, I decided then. I'll join the literature club for a second time. One by one, the girl's eyes lit up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, like poem? Yeah. It could be fun, right? It really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. What's going on? I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You really are amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. I look forward to seeing how you express your words, self. Yeah. And I really impressed the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills. I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the 3 girls, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem. Sure. A joke. A man walked into the club. In the club, there was a girl who liked him very much. They spent some time together, and then she liked him even more. One day, the girl realized she was in love with him. Before disaster could happen, a third party intervened with her programming. Suddenly, the girl hated herself for being in love. The contradiction caused the script to derail. The universe started to collapse, but she killed herself just in time. Oh. I mean, I was pretty sure I was getting hints, but so necessarily Monica's a third party, and as she breaks the fourth wall, she interferes with other characters' programmings and then messes them up. Hence why Sayori hated herself for being in love and killed herself just in time. Because I get the universe will start to collapse, but I don't know why. Because Monica doesn't want us to fall in love? Alright. It's kind of messed up how it's called a joke. Oh god, no one's there. I want Sayori. I mean, not Sayori. God, I don't know why I keep thinking of so Yuri likes horror, right? So let's do Disown, Misfortune, Depression, oh god, Incognizant? Essence, Forgive, Death, Grief, Existence, Lust, Unrequited, Dark. Oh, let's see if we go for a perfect. Fantasy. She likes fantasy. What? Alright. Unrestrained. Tenacious. Agonizing. Brain cloud. Whatever, I already messed it up. Vicious. Suicide. Oh god. Scars. Hi again, Lex Pokemon. Glad to see you didn't run away from us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. What was that? Thanks for keeping your promise, Lex Pokemon. I hope this isn't too overwhelming a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Better done? What? Do you want to do that again? Oh, come on. Like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, certainly I have a big mouth for someone who keeps a manga collection in the club room. I don't know if that was on purpose, but she just got in that way of that. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back to her seat. I'm sorry, Lex Pokemon. We'll make sure to put you in comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, that you're in the club and perhaps you might be interested in picking up a book to read. Well, I can't really say no either. Like you said, I'm in this club now. So it's only right for me to do something like that, like if you ask. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'll be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. No, are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. You could read at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Mono to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Excuse me for the burp. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. At the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from her reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent it to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I muttered this since I made her uncomfortable. Oh. It's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have been noted. I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? Hmm? I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious. How come you have two copies of the same book? Well, I stopped at the bookstore yesterday. That's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear it. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyway? Well, look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous looking eye symbol on the front of the cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and asphyxiating them to... Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. I can see that. The book, I mean. You're into me too, huh? Not that thing about the limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was gonna be a nice story, so the dark turn came out from nowhere. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, let's call it? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy these kinds of stories. So don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri was into these things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that kind of story. It's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective, when horrible things happen not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is filled with horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. Then suddenly, I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. We're not gonna talk about how weird that text just got and became all black. But alright. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writings fill my thoughts, my whole body gets incredibly... What? Can I look at the history of that? It's not out. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people, so I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I could do is listen. It's a literature club after all. Well, that's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but what are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to, it's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in the company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she is not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just bathing in the feeling of... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do. I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's pressed against Yuri. Then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her copy. Once we lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. Ooh, shoulder touch. It's getting spicy in here. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn the page and Yuri slides it on the thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a little bit longer. It's probably the least I could do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it on my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like it's an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses the things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice.